Got my drive shaft in the way, cross member for the trans, and doing an inspection. I can't believe what I'm looking at. I got it floored. There we go. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in to American Made Classics. I have my 1982 AMC Eagle here in the shop, and it is in need of some sort of new version of a kickdown linkage kit. So I bought a Lokar cable assembly because the original setup is long gone. It is modified, has a 4-barrel carb, 4-barrel intake, you know, the goodies here. So I bought it's a KD 2904 HT, which is actually for a 904 trans, but essentially the 904 and the 998 are identical. So this should work for my 998, even though that says it's for a 904. I know we're gonna run into some speed bumps looking at my, you know, how they have it, the way I bought the car. I didn't put this, you know, together. It's custom. That's what I'm saying. So we're probably going to have to also go custom as well. So follow along. We're going to start getting into this. Probably the first thing I'm going to do, I got to get the hood off of there because the way the carb is positioned on my car, it's, well, 90 degrees and it's hard to get over here with the hood in the way. So I'm going to get the hood taken off, and then maybe we could actually start getting in there and start figuring things out. Here we go. All right, now with the hood off, you can kind of get in here and see what I'm dealing with. Like I said, this carb is 90 degrees turned compared to like normal ones that face north and south. This one's facing east and west. Carb pulls back this way. So it's kind of a little bit of an unorthodox situation. So this is the contraption that they came up with for my throttle bracket, and it's, I mean, I guess it works, but when I'm trying to put this cable situation now in here, I'm not sure if it's going to. So I think what I can do, I can probably head down to my local O'Reilly's. Maybe they have a bracket, a go fast, you know, part on the shelf. And maybe I can hook that to this carb, because obviously this is your standard Holley carb. You know, that type of thing might work. And I think I could probably still use my cable, because that's what I want to do. I still want to use the cable that's here. Lokar sells an aftermarket bracket and cable, you know, but I don't want to spend an extra, you know, whatever it is, $150 for the cable, and, you know, $50 or whatever it is for the bracket. It was already $140 for the cable I bought. So we're trying to keep costs down is what I'm saying. I think in the meantime, what I'll do is get under the car, get the original linkage, because the original linkage is actually still here. I could probably just get that taken off and maybe get the cable mounted down there and get all that squared away, bring it up to here, and at least get ready for when I have to try to figure out how I'm going to get it onto the carb. So now that I got the hood off, I kind of got a better idea, and I think the hot ticket is starting on the transmission now. So under the car here, pretty tight fitting. I got my drive shaft in the way, cross member for the trans. And of course, you know, if I want to get my fingers back up in here to, you know, try to mount the cable, I got the transfer case skid plate also in the way that I'm probably going to have to remove. But looking up in here and doing an inspection, I can't believe what I'm looking at. My front differential this whole time has not been properly mounted. That is about ready to fall out. And also, not only that, because of how the custom this car is, they put this larger exhaust on there, and then they never put the back. There's supposed to be another bracket that goes right here, and that's not even on there. So yeah, I can't believe that. But and again, when I got this car and the things I saw then, I can believe it. I'm going to figure out a way to mount the cable on here. This is the stock rod that's actually still here. That's the stock rod right there. And you can see they got it coming up here. And it's right here, zip tied in place. So this car has never shifted right. That would be why. So let's see if we can fix this. So before I start wrestling with the bottom side, getting it all hooked up on the transmission side, I'm going to get the cable prepared. Reading the instructions, it says to remove the wire from the throttle body side, or carburetor side. So this is the side that goes to the carburetor. So I'm going to take it apart, and it says very specifically to make sure to leave the ferrule in place. So I'm going to take all of these off and this, and then pull the cable out of it. They supply you with a couple of Allen, tools. So you can use the one that fits and pull this all apart. Pull this off, and then take this with it. And then I'm going to pull from the other side. Pull the cable right out of it. I guess, according to the instructions, that's what we got to do. So if that's what it says, I guess that's what we do. So now I'm going to try my best and figure out how it goes onto the transmission, and I'll report back then and show you then. The cable is now in, and of course it didn't come without a fight. I had to remove my front drive shaft. I also removed the skid plate for the transfer case. And I finally was able to get enough room in here to maneuver. So the instructions say to remove that tail shaft bolt. You can see it attaches right there. And the cable attaches to the arm like so. Get you on the other side. There it is. Use the washer on the top, and I also added a washer on the bottom side there. And it moves nice and freely. So now once I got that bolted up, I ran the outer sheathing. So right now, before this cable was in it, there's no cable. I ran the outer sheathing up around the top side of the transmission and up to the top side, and we'll go see what that looks like up on the top. All right, so the cable's coming up through on the passenger side here, up and over the valve cover and over to the carburetor. And this is where I did some custom with a K, because I didn't feel like spending $20+ and running into town to O'Reilly to get a bracket of sorts. I made my own bracket. I made like a little L, and then I welded on a plate over here, and there we go. It is to the appropriate place. Now I just have to put on the end of it and then calibrate it, and we can see if this actually worked or not. All right, for the calibration procedure, I've got a couple of bricks down there simulating my foot to the absolute floor. As you can see, there's a little bit of play here. This is not perfect, the custom with a K from the previous owner. But anyway, this is simulating foot to the floor. And then on the bottom side, I have a zip tie holding the lever back 100%. So this theoretically should be what the transmission would see at 100% throttle. So I should just be able to cut the zip ties, take the bricks off, and that should be it. Seems to operate pretty smoothly. There's no binding, no sticking. I think there's only one thing left to do. Put the pieces back together, take it for a spin. All right, this is actually take two because I got to the end of my driveway and noticed the car wasn't moving, like, at all. I'd give it gas and I'd hear like this grinding and clanging and banging. And long story short, when I was under the car, I tried to see if the four-wheel drive, shift motor worked. Yeah, it was stuck in between two-wheel and four-wheel. The four-wheel has never worked on this car. I've never even began to try to figure it out. Eventually I'll figure it out, but anyway, it was in halfway between 2 and 4. So let's take this thing for a drive. And we're not shifting. Come on. Ooh, there we go. Now, the one thing I noticed, the way that this carb is set up, the length of the lever is not 100% accurate. As in, there's a little bit of space between when the cable starts actuating. And it kind of shows right now, but my opinion is, are we going to shift into third? Alright, so it's definitely better. I'm glad we're able to actually shift into all 3 gears without, damaging the trans. I kind of figured this was going to happen just because of that little space, but what matters the most is when the car is completely wide open throttle. My opinion, anyway. Car is also completely cold-blooded. This thing is so sensitive to temperature. I got it floored. There we go. Yeah. See, under wide open throttle, shifts just fine. Which is what matters the most. So under part throttle, it kind of seems like it's going to wind out a little bit, just because that, like I said, I call it the throw. I don't know what to actually, what the distance that it has to cover. Oh, wow, these brakes suck. Is not quite right, is what I'm saying. But at wide open throttle, how I have it set, the lever on the transmission is 100% out, full pressure, so it shifts just the way it should. I want to kind of punch it when it's at third and see how the kickdown works. If I can get out of these S-curves. There we go. The kickdown's working just fine. Went from third to second. And back to third. A little bit delayed, but that's what I'm talking about with that distance again. But hey, I'm not going to complain at all compared to what this thing was. I'm just happy the transmission's not done for. So maybe there's some adjusting that may need to be done with the car. The linkage, the cable. Not quite sure at this time, but I think it's good enough for what I want the car to be right now. I kind of have some other things that I might need to start working on again. Time is kind of, getting away from me. But I really just wanted this to kind of be like, when this is not, ready, or I'm not able to, everything's not in a row, my ducks aren't in a row, come over and work on this type of thing. And I think it's good enough. The transmission is better. So I think we're going to leave this the way it is. And now I want to tell you something. And I'm decently excited about it, slightly nervous, but it involves that out there. Well, here's the special announcement. My Jeep Patriot is on a trailer behind my truck. The special announcement is basically, here's a sneak peek of what's to come. Yes, I am acquiring another vehicle, and I'm trading my Jeep Patriot for it. I think that's all I'm going to give away for now. Put your guesses down below what you think I'm getting. I'll give you a hint. Yes, it is an AMC. Kind of think of the value of this car. It's got 37,000 miles, 5-speed, really nice condition. Put yourself a value, think of an AMC that's worth around that, and let me know what you think. You'll have to tune in next week to find out what it is. Smiley and I and my dad going on a little road trip. Rue, are you going to give him the outro? Are you going to say goodbye for me? All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week to see what the heck I just bought. Tune in next week to see Rue. Maybe I'll try to sneak him in there somehow, even though he's not coming with us to pick up the car. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it very much. And we'll AMC you later.